Impressions so far. I'd like to hear what your impressions are of Victor. I'd like to hear you make some connections to Romanticism and the Enlightenment. Okay? Okay. Take it away, scholars.
Well, so far, Victor has flipped back and forth between Enlightenment and Romanticism. I feel like every time that he gets really into the Enlightenment, he looks back on it and says, what am I doing? Oh my gosh, I've just created a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad about it, and that's the Romanticism part.
Yeah, it was like instant. As soon as he did the science part of it was over, when he was creating the creature, it was like instantly he switched to like feelings and emotions of like fear and guilt and whatnot. And it was like the science part of it was over with.
So even though he puts on the charade of he's enlightened, he deep down truly feels romantic. And
And then like afterwards, when his friend Henry came back, he spent a long time like studying like languages and stuff with Henry.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he wasn't like as into it as Henry was, because Henry's like straight up like, romanticism. But Victor, like, I feel like he kind of used that as an escape to like forget about everything that he did.
Yeah, he definitely has a problem with responsibility. Because it's like he spent like years and years creating this monster, and as soon as it's like done, he leaves the house. I was like, are you kidding me?
He's very dramatic too. It opened its eyes, and he just ran away and was like, oh my god, it's gonna kill me, and everything is ruined. And he's like, he must have killed my brother. It had to have been him.
Know.
I just know that I've done this, and yet he doesn't want to take responsibility and actually fix anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of ironic because when he was making the monster, he was like talking about, this new creature is gonna worship me, like like father makes a child, I'm more than a father to this thing. I'll be like a god to it.
Yeah, didn't he want to make the creature for like praise and like and so he could like be praised and honored in the science community?
He's like, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't want anything to do with it too because it's not like to his like liking. Like it's ugly. Like he doesn't like the way it looks.
Yeah,
that's why
but he made it.
Yeah, so it's he wanted to be a father figure, and now he's a terrible father figure.
Yeah, basically.
Well, one of the articles that I read was actually really recent, and in the UK, they're this close to passing a law making a baby out of 3 people.
I read that one.
That scares me because I feel like it's going to be just like Frankenstein, and one of these 3 people is going to be like, no, bye, and now you have a mutant person. And the gene pool could be messed up.
But it wasn't a mutant person. They got rid of the,
they
were getting rid of mitochondrial viruses.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you would need to make a baby out of 3 people because it's not like really going to be yours. You could just adopt a baby. Like it doesn't make sense. Why bring 3 people when you can help something by adopting a baby? It just doesn't
because it's
make
fun
sense.
to experiment and mess around with
here we
things.
go. That's like you're like playing with fire at that point.
Yeah.
Like you're messing with like things that we don't know completely all about. You know what I
Playing
mean?
with fire got us pretty far so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but I
Pushing
mean,
the boundaries.
we are
with
pushing the boundaries.
There haven't been any real trials at this. They're just like, we're going to do it now. And
Whatever.
the UK is saying, it's for women who have mitochondrial like disorders, so their kid's going to die anyway. Well, if you have that disorder, maybe you should just not try to have kids. Maybe that's the answer.
I read an article and it was talking about how like scientists were looking at the embryos and like if they saw early onset diseases they would implant new genes so that
Yeah, I think I read that same article. Yeah, and it's talking about a little bit like designer babies apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like a term.
We've touched on that in class. Haven't we touched on that?
Yeah, and it's like that creeps me out a little bit.
It reminds me of Oryx and Crake.
Exactly. That's all I can think about.
Perfect human race
Bakers.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's all I could think about. And it's like they're talking about how you could like see different traits of the baby beforehand and like behavioral traits as well. Like they're like getting to that point where they're trying to like notice that. But then they're saying like if you can notice like a negative behavior in someone like before they're born, that could like cause problems in different like ethnic situations. Because what if they're like more prominent in certain ethnic situations? Then that's going to cause like problems, you know what I mean? When you're like, oh, I don't want a baby with that behavior, that's saying you don't want a baby in that like, you know what I mean? That's what this article was talking about. Like it becomes like a cultural thing, not just about sciences anymore.
Yeah, I feel like the line is gonna get blurred with like the whole 3-parent thing.
Yeah.
Because like as of right now they're saying, to save like babies that are gonna have these diseases, but eventually it might turn into like, oh, well, my child is going to have this disability, which could cause them to be disadvantaged. And so then it's like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, I feel like that it's just going to crumble in their face if they do it because it's not smart.
It's just hard to have like regulation on it because like I guess because it's still so new, like it's not even really like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
thing yet. It's just hard to think of it as like, how do we even like regulate this or restrict it or make it so it's like still like civilized
Yeah,
and
they
like.
have no regulations at all.
And it's advancing so
Yeah.
quickly. And like with the mitochondrial thing, I feel like that idea is going to get so perverted later when they try to, they're like, oh, well, they're going to have a virus anyway,
Yeah.
so I might as well change this. And while I'm at it, I might as well continue doing this, and it will escalate into something that
Like
it was not meant
designing-
to.
exactly.
It's
It's something that
of
it's
children.
Yeah, like it becomes something that it wasn't supposed to be in the first place, and it just gets blown out of proportion. And by
So
that,
now there's no way to stop
and
it.
then by that point, there's no like controlling it anymore.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
my article actually said that they were scared that this could turn into designer babies.
Yeah, yeah. So.
And even with good intentions,